Welcome to everyone. You are watching SanHind community videos and this is Swami Methadidi Agneya. This video is about Paurusha, fate and destiny. Paurusham or Paurusha, as everybody may be knowing, in simple sense, is generally known as the ultimate resilience of an individual to face the odds of life and attain the goal he or she sets out. Though the word Paurusha gives an impression of something related to masculinity, it in real sense is applicable for both male and female equally. The word Paurusha appears repeatedly in various literatures of Hindu religion. In this context, please remember that the word Paurusha has no equivalent word in English. Manliness does not express its concept in any way. It denotes the concept of an ideal human with all the right qualities like resilience, fortitude, bravery, plus a lot that make him or her a perfect dharmic and rational being. Since the concepts of Paurusha, fate and destiny have a firm footing in one's life, let us examine these aspects in relation to the outlook of a SanHind follower. Also, remember that this subject is a component of one of the Saptasheel of SanHind. A SanHind follower can never be a fatalist. He can be explained as a Paurusha fatalist, which would mean a person who would never surrender to the concepts like fatalism, etc. in life, but face every occasions of life with Paurusham and accepts anything comes as end result of it. That is, the result whose course can no more be changed with human efforts. Again, he waits for an opportune moment for making further efforts to achieve his goal. In the event, the result he got was not of his choice. This process continues till he rationally gets convinced of the final outcome and accepts it as his fate with an open heart. According to him, if one is just a fatalist, then there is nothing for that person to do in his life, because fate is a pre-decided state of affair in which, irrespective of whatever one does, one's destiny is decided or sealed, and one has no escape from it. Again, whether one accepts or rejects it, whatever is one's ultimate stage, that stands decided already according to the belief of a fatalist. For a SanHind follower, this is sheer absurdity, because if there is a fate, then one needs to simply take rest only throughout his life. Whatever food is told for him will come to him automatically. Again, irrespective of whatever the diseases are affecting him, he need not have to take any medicines, as the fate is to take care of him to his destiny. In short, according to a fatalist, human efforts in a lifetime are of no consequences at all, a position which a person of Paurusha can never accept at all. A SanHind follower believes in the Sanatana Brahman that enlightened his intellect and rationale, and according to his belief, his duty is to do the best of whatever he can do at every stage of life, as conceived in the faculties of intellect and rationale. He is convinced that supreme power energizes his intellect and rationale, and in the earthly limitations, while there cannot be any perfection in actions, he shall be able to perform his best possible in the available situations. And he can do everything as per the revelations of that power only, as reflected in the rationale. Therefore, his destiny, according to SanHind belief, is not a predecided stage, but the stage which takes shape or comes to effect after the best of efforts put forth by him, as per the reflections of his intellectual or rational mind. Now, in no way he can become a fatalist. In short, he believes that his future lies mainly in his performance, which he does according to the best of his logic sense. And he can perform according to his logic sense only, as ultimately it only knows to which direction he should move. Now, while for a usual spiritualist, a person has no role in the destiny of his life, for a SanHind follower, what he can do is to proceed according to the best of the reflections of his rational sense, and it cannot lead him wrong, as it is enlightened by the Sanatana Brahman. And he understands that there cannot be a better path for the human in the world to take recourse to, as his logic sense is in perfect unison with the supreme power. He believes the Vedic rationale to be one of the perceivable qualities or nature of the ultimate power, that is Sanatana Brahman. Therefore, any failures in the process are not to deter him from the path of perseverant efforts, as it is his conclusion that the world does not offer perpetual successes or failures to any human, and it is the time that decides or plays a predominant role in tilting the probabilities of a positive effort in either way. Again, it is the rationale or intellect controlled by rationale that can tell one as to which can be the best time to initiate any efforts and methods to be adopted for its success. Once these matters are settled to the best of one's rationale, then man's role is limited to keeping up a passionate perseverance, and in the complex process of unwinding of issues at the instance of time, he remains an ardent and balanced optimist only. It will be appropriate at this stage to analyze the aspect of time factor a bit more and its prime role in the turning of events. The aspect of time plays the most crucial part in the success and failures of every human effort. For example, if there is a case where an individual proceeds to meet a person for certain gains at a distant place, to which different modes of travel has to be used, then his success depends on various factors like availability of the person in time when he ultimately reaches there, the person's mood to meet the individual, availability of various modes of travel in time, over and above proper health of the individual for starting the journey on the day planned, etc. Though the meeting might be of supreme importance, its taking place depends on the right confluence of the time factors, some of which have been specified here. While planning the visit itself, it is required for the individual to take adequate care in the details or specifics to narrow down the uncertainties of the time factors to the possible extent, so as to turn the ultimate outcome maximum in his favor. In another case of example, when one initiates a venture which needs a lot of water at a place where the water scarcity is all over, there is every possibility that he will have a setback in his efforts. It is another matter that the scheme might have survived even when it was initiated at the wrong time and place. However, the process could have been made a bit more easier had there been proper planning taking into consideration the relevant factors of the case. In the same way, if one plans a trip when there is a general vehicular service breakdown, he is obviously to meet with the problems in the course. While such a situation could have been foreseeable and planned accordingly, there are cases where, due to unpredictable natural calamities, etc., one may have to undergo strenuous conditions. Such situations are beyond the scope of any normal planning, and one has to face it in accordance with its unfolding. Here too, what matters in circumventing the problem is not the faith belief and the helplessness emanating from it, but the irrepressible optimism stemming from the rational mind, and that exactly is what has been explained here as Paurusham. To quote examples for the above sort of situations where time and other factors play crucial parts are many. It happens throughout in day-to-day life. While in some cases, meticulous human planning can avoid a lot of problems or setbacks, there are many cases where nothing can be done or nothing was possible to be done due to the very unpredictable nature of the situation. In all such cases, as is the usual practice, it is convenient for the individual to think about a divine intervention in the matter. This line of thinking is most dangerous for human developments. Needless to explain more, the very thought of such reasoning emanates from the faith belief, and unless the concerned individual becomes a bit more rational, there will be more and more inclination to such deviations, finally causing the erosion of human vigor totally. Had the individual been able to think for a while as to what the power that pervades the universe has to do with an individual human's gains or losses, it could have been sufficient to correct the thought processes. But that needs certain level of rational reasoning. Until the time such a rational awakening takes place, such deviations are to continue, and it has the potential to undermine the vivacious nature of the human in the long run. However, a SanHind follower has no reason to think that there lies the favorable and unfavorable attitudes of an alien force in his case, as he has confidence about what the ultimate realities of life means to him. He will never tire and never indulge in self-accusations. He will analyze the situations of failures, that is, his not being able to accomplish something or anything in the background of the complications of time and other factors, and reach a conclusion which shall induce more confidence in him to face the future more boldly. Because for him there exists no reason to think that there are alien forces at work in this universe against his gains and survival. Had there been any such force or forces, his very birth would not have occurred over here. Again, for him there is nothing to bother about the results of his actions if it is done with absolute passion and to the best of the intellect illuminated by rationale. For him, once an act is performed in the above manner, the result comes through the process of intertwined causation and time, like any other happenings over here. Moreover, for him, his duty is to work again for attaining the goals with the help of his intellect enlightened by the rationale, as said earlier, in case the earlier efforts were ending up in failures. In short, it never occurs to him that there exists a person-centric fate that decides his course of life. For him, the failures in any attempts are not to turn him to fate, but to make him work more and more till the failures are converted to success as he desires. For a SanHind believer, his forward march is always towards success. In the event, despite repeated intellectual efforts, if he is unable to accomplish the goal, still that situation does not dishearten him, as such setbacks are a pause period for him for making repeated efforts with renewed passion till the time the non-accomplishing something, despite repeated and all-out efforts, takes him to a stage where the setback does not create a minor ripple of disheartened feelings. Thanks for being with SanHind community videos. As you may be aware, SanHind is Sanathana Hindu Dharma. In case you like the concept of SanHind, kindly subscribe this channel, if not already subscribed. Also, please like and share this video for maximizing its reach. Please strengthen SanHind by contributing to the cause it stands for by scanning the QR codes on screen. For any further information on SanHind or details of other modes of contribution etc., please visit sanhind.org.